Well, hello everyone, it's Liam Catterson here. It's time for the first episode of the originals. Here we are starting the spin-off, of course, to the Vampire Diaries, focusing on Klaus, Elijah, maybe Rebecca along the way. And yeah, I'm excited to get into this because we watched, I guess, the backdoor pilot really in episode 20 of season 4, and it was really well done. It had me very much excited to get into the first episode of the originals. And yeah, it was something that I have been planning for quite some time. I know a few people were wondering once I would get to this point if I would react to the originals, which, you know, was always the plan. So, but it was all about getting to this moment, and here we are. So I'm looking forward to getting into this. Just to clarify, because I know there's a few people who prefer to watch the originals rather than the Vampire Diaries, and some might, you know, just solely watch the originals. But just to clarify, I am doing a watch order thing where, of course, I'll be watching the Vampire Diaries alongside the originals, but I'm following this watch order where, you know, some weeks there might not be an originals episode. It'll depend. It could be like, for example, this week we had the beginning of season 5 of the Vampire Diaries, and right now we're having the originals episode 1. Next week it could be 2 episodes of the Vampire Diaries season 5. So yeah, but yeah, if there's not an episode on for that current week, I guess, it's not because I've dropped the show or anything like that. It's just that I'm following a little watch order. So yeah, but it's kind of, if you followed me during the Buffy Angel situation, it's basically that kind of concept, except this is the Vampire Diaries and the originals. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to getting into this. Like I said, with the pilot that we had in season 4 of the Vampire Diaries, it was phenomenal, and it has me really excited to get into this. But I'm just really excited and curious to see what else will unfold over the course of I guess these next 5 seasons, really. So with that said, why don't we get into the first episode of the originals? Of course, full reactions will be available on Patreon to all episodes. So yeah, with that said, let's go.
And while we may not choose our family,
I
that bond can be our
have.
greatest strength, or our deepest regret. This unfortunate truth has haunted me for as long as I can recall.
300 years ago on the Mississippi River. Ooh.
Saving the best for last.
And our half-brother Niklaus.
Of course, he's making a dramatic entrance. Oh my god!
We fled Europe and survived the seas.
We recommend that you find yourself further assistance for the luggage. My sincere apologies.
Sorry, but not sorry. It had to be done. Shit! Oh!
Found that are conspiring against him.
Wow. Narcissistic and paranoid. Sorry.
Oh,
Bartender with a grad degree in psychology. Total cliche.
Listen, Camille, I'm looking for someone who might shed some light. Klaus is here because he learned that a witch was conspiring against him. Someone by the name of Jane Ann Devereaux.
Well, if he's looking for Jane Ann, he's a little late.
Yeah, because she's... Yeah.
Are you telling me she's dead?
Yep! I was even shook as well!
Her spirit can't rest until it's been properly interred in the cemetery.
Oh.
Please tell me that my brother had nothing to do with this.
No.
I mean, he
Jane
was
Ann died
involved,
because she got
but...
caught doing magic.
I mean, she got caught doing magic.
Not half an hour ago, we had to teach your sister a little lesson.
Yeah, can you let them
Bring her
mourn?
to rest, Marcel. Leave us alone.
I never said you can move the body. Matter of fact, I left it here for a reason.
Oh,
Send
that
a
is
message.
messed up.
If maybe you remember why Klaus is here.
Marcel, please. Her body won't be at peace.
Holy
Not my
shit! What an
You mean to tell
unhinged
me
piece
after
of
all these
shit!
years, Marcel is alive and well.
quite. Always and forever, Rebecca. That is what we once swore to each other.
Consider this me calling take-backs.
Oh, you've called take-backs dozens of times over the centuries, and yet when our father found us,
There should have been a no take-backs rule. Just a little heart-to-heart.
One thing led to another, and now, this special werewolf girl, she's pregnant. And the father of the child she's carrying is your brother, Klaus.
It's impossible.
No,
Nothing's
yeah, I
impossible,
thought that too. I thought that too,
especially now when
bud.
it comes to your...
Our family was human. 1,000 years ago now.
Look at that. Like,
Although
he's giving her a little bit of a
lived in dark times,
flashback
we
retrospect.
family trying to survive in a time when it was quite difficult to do so.
Yeah.
And for better or worse.
Yeah, I don't think we saw this whole shtick.
An abomination.
Oh.
Help me.
Your dad was a dick.
That is one word to
Haley.
describe him.
By the way,
You should probably know my name if you're gonna tell me.
I cannot excuse his behavior, but you must understand. And our father hunted him, hunted us.
Michael wasn't exactly father of the year material.
To welcome a hybrid baby to the neighborhood?
At least they're aware of that.
Convince Klaus to help us, and no one has to know about the newest member of the original family.
That sounds remarkably like blackmail.
Like
Yeah.
I said,
Fair.
I'm desperate. Girl and her baby are now controlled by us. We can keep them safe. Or we can kill them. If you don't help us take down Marcel, so help me, Haley won't live long enough to see her first maternity dress. Wait,
Oh, Elijah.
Be my weaknesses. This is a pathetic deception. I won't hear any more lies.
Yeah.
Niklaus.
Of course, we know how this all went down, didn't we? Or at least, yeah. Again, this is why we should use protection.
Away what little humanity you had left. Before ego, before anger, before paranoia created in this person before me. Someone I can barely even recognize as my own brother. This is us. The original family.
I love how we're seeing Elijah not just, you know, be the glue, but how events in this episode has, yeah, made him be the glue.
Very clear what it already means to you. If I have to hurt Haley, or worse, to ensure that I have your attention,
Damn! That
Who would dare threaten an original?
I have nothing to lose.
Rules. They die. Mercy is for the weak. You taught me that too. And I'm not
It's like you created your own monster.
Friend.
You don't want to do that with your kiddo.
Show me some.
And yet I cannot be killed. I am immortal.
Confidence beats confidence, isn't it?
Who has the power now, friend?
Oh, I'm excited to see this power struggle. I'm excited to see this power struggle just go through the roof.
Say what you will about Niklaus. On my life, I'm not letting anything happen to that baby.
You're fine.
Look at him
Tim.
be the
I didn't
protective
call me.
uncle
Don't
already.
worry. I know how to deal with Klaus.
Is that so? He's an
Ah!
Is my business. Klaus comes into town all nice and friendly. Then he starts looking down his nose at what I've done, like it's some cheap knockoff of one of his dumb paintings. Then he gets pissed
Oh,
off
wow.
like a little bitch and bites one of my guys.
Well, I do apologize for Klaus's poor behavior.
You provoked him, to be
I
fair.
assume you know that then allow her people to put it to rest.
What do you care about the witches?
And that's my business now, isn't it?
Oh! Snap! Snap!
I just need a little more time.
You had your time. It's past.
Shut up, Agnes.
For now, accept the deal. The girl and child
Again,
remain unharmed.
Elijah is glue.
Or Klaus will kill you all.
He's probably dead already.
You will not walk away from this.
All about slapping some sense into him.
Don't make me say it again.
I would father laid a hand on you. I should have struck him dead. And I made a promise to you. Always, forever.
Always and forever, like you said
Family
with
above all.
Rebecca.
But I've lasted this long in spite of it, haven't I?
Again, his eyes did the talking in terms of Klaus.
We can never waver from the power of that bond, even when it is tested.
It is interesting seeing like Elijah's perception
Bond
of this
nourishes
family
us.
bond.
It offer you the one thing that you've never believed you had.
And what's that?
The unconditional love of family.
It's this new hope for Klaus, isn't it?
I don't really know how I feel about being a mother because I never really had a good one.
See, this works so well for Klaus's story and
I will
Haley's
always
story.
protect You have my word on that.
What about the old ones? They're dangerous and I don't want them to hurt you.
The originals. Davina. As powerful as you are, they don't stand a chance.
Get Davina out of here.
He uses to control.
Marcel could exploit.
And what is that?
You. Forgive me.
Come on. For crying out loud.
Power and love. I have to do it alone.
God's sake, Klaus. Well, here we go again. Elijah's been stabbed and, yeah. So, surely either Rebecca or Haley, I don't know, especially after Haley got that, like, she got, Elijah saying, oh, I'll always have that, like, protection for you. So, you know, maybe she might be involved, but, yeah, either Rebecca's gonna swing by and, yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. But Klaus has his intentions clear. He needs to do this alone. Yeah. Although Klaus might come to the realization he can't do it alone, and that is just kicking him in the backside, so... Eesh. Anyways, I mean, that was great. I mean, obviously, if you're watching the originals after, well, not after the Vampire Diaries, but after episode 20 of season 4's episode of the Vampire Diaries, it was pretty much like a recap episode, but it's also done in the perspective of Elijah rather than more so of Klaus. So and it still worked really, really well. Like I said, you got Elijah's side of things, and it does offer interesting and you know, new scenes and all of that. So yeah, but it's also a nice kind of I don't know, a nice starting off point for those who might not have particular interest in the Vampire Diaries, but I will watch the originals. So yeah, god damn it, Klaus. I guess that was another reason to have this episode focus so much on Elijah, because he's just gonna get daggered and be out commission for God knows how long. I mean, it's not going to be a permanent thing. It's not like, okay, we're going to write him out we're going to write him out and he's not going to get brought again. We know the mechanics of the dagger, of course. So, like I said, it's all a matter on, okay, someone's got to free him. Maybe Klaus will realize his arrogance is just going to get the better of him. And, yeah, he wants to do this himself. He views family as a weakness. Maybe something will make him come around. Who knows? But like I said, Rebecca's probably going to swoop on by at some point. I don't know when, because, obviously this episode, I believe it's a few months still prior to where we're at right now in terms of the Vampire Diaries. So unless we have some kind of time skip in the originals, it's going to be a while before Rebecca can swoop on by to New Orleans. So yeah, and even then, she's still dealing with her own issues in Mystic Falls. So might be a bit of a wait before we do. I mean, it doesn't mean that we're not going to see her in flashbacks and all of that, like we did in the beginning of this episode, which I really, really enjoyed. As well as the fact that I liked the little conversations between Elijah and Rebecca in this episode. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, Rebecca, and understandably, given what she's been through in the Vampire Diaries, she's just done. She's just done. So yeah, Elijah, obviously the main catalyst of this episode was Elijah just basically being glue, because that's what he was trying to be in this episode. Not just to, Klaus and the idea of him becoming a father and all of that, and trying to make him be the better person and make him have that unconditional love that he never really got from his father, but also to Sophie, of course, and she had that little binding spell with Haley, and he was just trying his he was just trying his best to just make sure that things just don't fall apart. He was making sure that all hell never broke loose, essentially. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, it was just really, really amazing stuff. So, yeah, I really, really enjoyed, obviously with this episode, as I said, it was pretty much a recap episode, but it was done in Elijah's perspective. So, it does add a lot more to the plot, especially when you consider, okay, the leverage that the witches have on Haley, and how Sophie was willing to, would she have gone through with, killing herself? I mean, she could have done. I definitely do feel like, the leverage is all hers, especially with the fact that, Jane died and all of that. And, Klaus, well, not just Klaus, but mainly Elijah, who does want to see the survival of this kid. He has everything to lose. There's nothing to lose, really, in terms of Sophie killing herself and Haley in the process. So yeah, but there comes that kryptonite there for Elijah, but also Elijah's heart is also going to it's going to waver to Sophie's threats, isn't it? So yeah, and again, like I said with a few moments ago in regards to this being a recap episode, whilst that is pretty much the case, and there's no surprises to Klaus becoming a dad potentially. There is a bit more meat to what we experienced in episode 20 of season 4, like with Sophie and her connectivity to Haley. So as well as that scene in the house when Elijah was checking up on Haley, it never struck me about how imperative the kid is to both Haley and Klaus in terms of what they went through with their own parents. Obviously, we know that Michael was, far from father of the year, right? But it's not like Haley's own parental situation was a mystery to us. And it just didn't hit until, like, Elijah did bring it up about, Haley did bring it up, should I say, about how she really never knew her parent. And this is an opportunity for Haley to be there for her kid. So that her kid never has to experience the loneliness, the detachment there is between mother and daughter. And that's what, you know, Haley went through. So, at least with Haley, yeah, she doesn't have to, she doesn't want her kid to go through this. She doesn't want her kid to have the detachment between child and I guess mother, really. Klaus, don't know where that's going to go, obviously. I mean, but you do feel like he's going to, I mean, he's all about throwing out, you know, family is weakness, etc., but he's going to cave, I feel. And, again, like father and son, I guess you could say, really. Obviously, there is a bit more of a trickier dilemma in terms of Klaus's biological father, but when it comes to Michael and Klaus, yeah, there is that like hurt, there is that like disdain, and Klaus had so much hatred. Of course, he ran, but also there was so much hatred between father and son, really. He doesn't want that for his, like, deep down, he wouldn't want that for his kid. He doesn't, like, the cycle can't repeat itself. Klaus is obviously, like I said, adamant on the fact that family is weakness, but I feel like there is something more. So there are, like, it wasn't just the moment where he found out that there was no bullshit going on, that Klaus is going to be a father, where you could see it on his face, but also, like, when Elijah and Klaus had that little scrap, which I don't think we saw in episode 20 of season 4. Again, his eyes did the talking. It was something that I made a mention of, because his face, like, words didn't need to be conveyed by Klaus when he found out that Haley was indeed pregnant. And it was the same thing with the fight. So yeah, but yeah, I really, really did like that scene with Elijah and Haley. Like I said, it's not just the fact that, you know, Haley doesn't want to repeat the mother-daughter bond she experienced with her and her child, but it's also Elijah being he's being a very, very, because Klaus is still a bit AWOL in terms of, well, I wouldn't say AWOL, but it's still a bit in the unknown in terms of his emotions, I would say, in Elijah's mindset. But Elijah does, like he stated a few times in this episode, that he wants to, like, he wants to give this kid a chance. He wants to be the best uncle, basically. So, and I want to see that. I mean, obviously, something bad could happen when it comes to Elijah. I don't see that happening, but at the minute, he's just resting at the minute. So unless the kid has accelerated growth in the womb and all of that, considering, you know, hybrid shenanigans and all of that, it's not like he's going to miss much. So I could see the baby being born by the end of the season, but I could also see Elijah being a great uncle as well. So yeah, just with how we've gotten to know his character and all of that. So Klaus is just a bit of a mystery at the minute. I mean, obviously he's going to war against Marcel, but it's just also his personality, because obviously he is a bit more unhinged, isn't he? So, but this is also his chance to not be Michael. So, I'm kind of holding on hope that Klaus is definitely going to definitely become more vulnerable when his kid is, you know, brought into the world. So yeah, and it's going to be very, very interesting, because I definitely do see an occasion when, you know, Haley does have her kid. Yeah, it's gonna definitely, because I definitely do feel like in some cases when you have a kid, you do have a bit of a change in terms of your emotions and all of that. You can become a bit more, protective, a bit more protective, and all of that, for example. And I definitely do see that, especially with those final words that he said to Elijah. He's definitely going to become a lot more protective to his child. So, yeah, and I'm kind of excited to see if that does come to fruition. When Haley gives birth to her kid. So, yeah, but it was really, really great stuff. I also really loved as well, because like I said, with this episode being basically an Elijah POV of the backdoor pilot, I guess, we did get to see us as well, was it episode 8 or episode 9 of season 3? I think it was episode 8 of season 3 of the Vampire Diaries. We got to see flashbacks there, of course, but we also got to see a bit more of an extension of that, I believe. So, yeah. With Sebastian returning as Michael as well, so, because I don't believe we saw Klaus go through his first transformation, basically, in the flashbacks. And of course there was the torment that he went through, that plagued Elijah, really, where Elijah even said that I should have done something about it. So yeah, that was very, very interesting stuff. So yeah, but no, it was just really, really amazing, and I loved the conversation as well between Marcel and Elijah as well. So yeah, of course there is that whole situation about well, Marcel, he has a witch at the minute who is observing things. I think a seer, maybe, potentially, I don't know, but she obviously has an idea on, Davina, I think her name was, a bit of an idea of when the witches, yeah, so. But like I said, that Elijah talk with Marcel was just really, really great stuff, especially with the way that Elijah snapped back to Elijah snapped back to Marcel. So yeah, so. Yeah, he's not gonna. Like, the way he has a handle on the witches is his business. So yeah, and then he was able to use that retort on Marcel. That was just peak. That was just amazing. So yeah, not just an extension, not just a different POV in terms of like Elijah, in regards to the backdoor pilot that we had, but also a bit more in terms of the other characters, of Sophie, of Marcel, a bit more fleshed out there. So I felt like overall this did a pretty good job at still keeping you entertained, even if you watched the backdoor pilot, because it not only gave you a bit of a different POV of another original who was involved in, that episode, but also it gives a bit more meat to the plot, doesn't it? So, yeah, that was really, really all well and good for me. So, yeah, but yeah, pretty awesome stuff, and I'm excited to see what happens in the next episode now that Elijah's daggered again, and Klaus is willing to do this war by himself. So, sure, that's gonna go down well. Especially with how ruthless and confident Marcel is, but we'll just have to wait and see where things go. But yeah, until then, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check out my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!